Phillies fans made the trek to Cincinnati to start this road trip, but the Reds had other plans for their visitors. And after the first series, the Phillies couldn't make a splash. Next, the Phils were hoping it would be a smoother pass on the Allegheny through Pittsburgh. That didn't turn out so well either, with a lack of offense and a pair of extra inning losses. Next up, a two-day stop in Baltimore. When Major League Baseball first implemented interleague play back in 1997, this was the kind of matchup that they envisioned. The proximity between Baltimore and Philadelphia is so easy for the two fan bases to get to. And this week we have 4 games in 2 cities, and it begins tonight here in Baltimore. Game 1 of a very quick 2-game set down here in Maryland. Now, the Orioles are playing some better baseball. They've won 8 of their last 10 games. They had won 6 straight before the loss to the Yankees, and this is where they sit, 31-31, 3 games back behind the Yankees and the Tampa Bay Rays. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Ben Davis. You look over our shoulder, you see the tarp is on the field. Tonight's ball game is going to begin in a rain delay, and maybe that will cool off this Baltimore Orioles team, which is playing some pretty good baseball.
You hope it can, because this is such a tight division, the American League East. This team is playing very, very well right now, and the Phillies are coming in here at not such a good time because of the way they're swinging the bats, but especially because the Orioles are swinging the bats. Offensively, they are doing some damage. It starts with their center fielder, and it filters throughout the lineup.
Take a look at the bullpen ERA. Zach Britton has been outstanding as the closer for the Orioles, a 2.92 earned run average in the American League. That says a lot. But you talked about Adam Jones, how important he is. He's a former teammate of yours. This kid is special.
I liken him to an Eric Davis, Darryl Strawberry. He doesn't look physically overly impressive, but the man is strong, and he is like Andrew McCutchen. He can beat you 5 different ways every night, with power, with speed, with defense. He can do it all, and the Phillies have to make sure that they keep him in check.
Taking a look at his averages over the last 4 seasons, he's a 4-time All-Star. He's won 4 Gold Gloves, 30 home runs on average over the last 4 years. Well, speaking of home runs, the Phillies haven't hit any home runs on this road trip. In fact, this has been one of the tougher stretches of what has been a disappointing year for the Phillies. They've lost every game on this road trip. In fact, they've lost 10 straight on the road.
And if they don't hit a home run in this ballpark, something is wrong. They did not hit one in Cincinnati. They did not hit one in Pittsburgh. And Camden Yards, I think, is the smallest park in the entire league. Of all 30 ballparks, I think this is the smallest one. So they have to go deep at some point in this series.
Well, you look at the numbers, 1.8 runs per game, but then you look beyond the numbers. They just haven't played sound, fundamental baseball during this stretch.
No, they have not. And when you're not swinging the bats too well, you have to do the small things to get some runs across the plate. You can't get thrown out by oversliding the bag. You can't make errors in extra innings. Those are the things that cost you ball games, and that's why the Phillies have lost recently.
All right, well, it's game 1 of a 2-game series down here in Baltimore, and then 2 more games up in Philadelphia to finish up this week. Aaron Harang on the mound for the Phils, his 14th start. Wei-Yin Chen on the hill for the Baltimore Orioles. When we return, we'll talk about the starting lineups and hopefully get you set for the first pitch. Phillies and the Baltimore Orioles. The crowd settling in after a beautiful rendition of our national anthem by a youngster with a trumpet. It was unbelievable. And the sun has popped out. It's over near the B&O warehouse right now, off the sides of that wall. Let's take a look at the Phillies starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Ben Revere leads it off in center field, followed by Cesar Hernandez playing second. Maikel Franco's the third baseman. He'll hit third. Ryan Howard is at first base batting cleanup. Jeff Francoeur makes another start. He's in right field today. He'll bat fifth. Chase Utley, the DH, hits sixth. And the bottom third of Ashe, Rupp, and Freddie Galvis. And that's the starting nine for the Phils, and they will face left-hander, 29-year-old left-hander, Wei-In Chen. 2-4 with an ERA of 3.21. And he is the first Taiwanese player the Orioles had ever signed. And he's been a pretty good one. He won 16 games last year, Ben. 2-4 this year with a very good ERA for the American League, a 3.21 earned run average.
It's a very good ERA, and especially in this ballpark. And I know I will talk a lot about this ballpark, and we take a look at the Budweiser scouting report. Chen loves his fastball. And I heard a lot of the players talking about today. You'll see him fastball over 70% of the time. At home, he's got a decent record. All mixed into the curve and some changes to some righties, sliders to lefties. But he loves his heater, so they have to be ready for it.
19-13 overall here at Camden Yards. All right, let's take a look at our Nissan keys to the game.
Keys to the game, we touched on it in the open. No way, AJ. Talking of Adam Jones, could not let the center fielder for the Baltimore Orioles beat them, Adam Jones, and hit me homer. I want to see a homer.
Well, it's been 6 games since the Phillies last homered. Here's the first pitch of the night. And it's just outside. We're underway, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes. The veteran Eric Cooper is behind the plate. Ben Revere hitting .277. He's hit in 6 consecutive games. Eric Cooper's behind the plate. The crew chief, Gary Cedarstrom, is around at third base. Quinn Wolcott is at second, and Lance Barksdale, another veteran umpire, is over at first. And Revere taking a strike, takes it all the way. It's 2-1. Ben's career numbers against the Orioles, of course, playing for his first few years with the Minnesota Twins in the American League. And there's a dribbler to the right side. This will be a tough play. Picked up on the bare hand by Flaherty, and it's in time. I wasn't sure if Davis had bobbled that at all, but the first base umpire, Lance Barksdale, says no. That's a pretty good play by Ryan Flaherty.
Very good play, because he knows the speed of Ben Revere and had to get rid of it very quickly. Comes in, fields it cleanly, and makes the transfer to first base.
Ryan Sandberg is standing out in front of the dugout. Just what we had talked about, whether he had it cleanly or not. And this is an early challenge if they decide to do it. Ben, take a look at this. Does Chris Davis bobble this at all?
And that's what I think is going to be. He is safe. That was not clean. Oh.
Well, he never left his glove. It stayed in his glove. You know, I think it's just too tough to challenge it this early in the ball game. So 1 away. Here's Cesar Hernandez. And Hernandez takes a strike at the knees. It's 0-1. Cesar playing second base today. 2 for 9 in the series against the Pittsburgh Pirates. And he takes low, 1-1. Some interesting storylines coming out of the Phillies lineup here today, with Cesar playing second base and Chase Utley down in the 6th spot. Jeff Francoeur batting 5th, Maikel Franco batting 3rd. Ryan Sandberg said before the ball game, as another one goes softly to the right side, Chen covers, and he's there in time. 3-1 on the putout. Ryan Sandberg said before the ball game that he wants to move guys into spots to try to generate some offense. He said we just obviously, numbers-wise, haven't put much offense together, so that's why Franco's batting 3rd. And he said, quite honestly, that's why Jeff Francoeur's playing again. He said, I'm going to put guys up there and in the lineup that I think deserve to play based on their numbers.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I told you yesterday. Frenchie was actually up to 277 after his first 2 at-bats yesterday, in which he got hits. And for a lineup that is lacking offense, you have to put the guys in there that are actually producing.
Well, here's Maikel Franco, who waves at a curveball at 73 miles an hour. No balls, 1 strike to Franco. And a fastball in there. It's 0-2.
I don't agree with that first pitch swing by Franco because he's never seen him before. He doesn't know the arm slide. He doesn't know where the ball comes out.
Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant. All right, here we go, Ben. Kathy Reeve of Yardville, New Jersey, has a chance to win $700.
Good luck, Kathy.
Yeah.
And Yardville going yard. She's from Yardville. It's got to happen, Tom.
Man, great Garden State. No balls, 2 strikes. Inside corner and a call. Strike 3. Franco thought that was a little too tight. He looks back at the home plate umpire, Eric Cooper. Cooper said something to him. Phillies go down in order. We'll head to the bottom of the first. Manage the Diamondbacks, of course, here with the Orioles. Let's take a look at his starting lineup for tonight's ball game. Again, brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Machado, Paredes, and Adam Jones. And then Chris Davis, the cleanup batter. Matt Wieters, the catcher, just back from Tommy John surgery. Nolan Reimold's in left field. He'll hit 6th. In the bottom third of Snyder, J.J. Hardy, and Ryan Flaherty. They'll face Phillies right-hander Aaron Harang. Harang last 2 games, 12 earned runs and 11 2/3. He is hoping, Ben Davis, that he can get back to where he was several starts ago when his earned run average was 2.02.
Yeah, that ERA definitely ballooned up quickly on him, and I think a lot has to do with his fastball command, elevating fastballs. You know, he's not an overpowering guy, but he can pinpoint when he's on.
So here's Manny Machado, a very gifted hitter, hitting .286 with 11 home runs and 30 runs batted in.
As we take a look at the Budweiser scouting report for Aaron, average velocity 89.4, and again, he has to get back to locating that fastball. He's 1-3 with 3.6 ERA against the O's.
Manny Machado's 2 for 5 against him lifetime. He's hit in 8 consecutive games. He lofts that one to right center field. Frank Core is there. And 1 gone here in the bottom of the first. But I want to get back to that play in the first inning where Revere tapped it softly up the first base line, because we said it was a tough one to challenge. I don't know if you agree with that this early in the game. By rule, if the ball popped out of the glove of Chris Davis, the first baseman, and then Revere touched the bag, he would have been safe.
Yes.
But I couldn't tell whether that ball popped up out of the glove or not, or just stayed at the rim of the glove.
Yeah, I think it was just bouncing around. You know, it wasn't clean. You know, you see a ball go into a glove. This is not clean. Kind of rolling around.
But it stays in.
It does stay in.
Yeah.
I just was rolling around.
Yeah, so by rule, that's a good catch, and Lance Barksdale got it right. I just think it was too early to challenge it, and I don't think the Phillies would have gotten that one.
You don't want to do that in the first inning and 1 out.
No balls and 2 strikes to Paredes, hitting .303, 6 home runs, 28 RBIs. Interesting that Paredes, a former Astros prospect, who they kind of gave up on, J.D. Martinez, of the Detroit Tigers, also a former Astros prospect who had a very good year last year, are somewhat thriving with different teams.
See Paredes try and lay a bunt down first pitch. Right before he went in the batting cage today for batting practice, he got a ball and he rolled it down the third base line. Just to see, sometimes they cut the grass differently, sometimes the dirt's a little closer to the chalk. And he wants to see how close he can get it to that line without it going foul. Juan Pierre used to do that.
Yeah, we used to see Juan do that all the time. 3-2 pitch coming to him in the air to left field. And Cody Ashe ventures back toward the warning track. He'll be just shy of it, makes the catch, and there are 2 outs. During the 2015 season, Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the Phillies, will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies' youth baseball and softball programs. 2 away. Here's Adam Jones. Look at those numbers. 305 with 10 homers and 33 runs batted in. A .344 on base percentage. And I ask you, Ben Davis, do the Seattle Mariners scratch their heads saying, why did we make that deal?
What a deal for the Birds. I tell you.
I guess Eric Bedard was a known commodity at the time. He just retired the other day. 1 ball, no strikes to Jones. And he fouls it back. It's 1-1.
You know me, Tom. When I'm in love with a player, I am in love with the player.
You go headlong in.
I do. I don't pull any punches. This guy, plus he's a great dude. It's just that the ball comes off his bat differently. You look at Eric Davis, and I likened him to Eric Davis or Darryl Strawberry. They weren't physically imposing players, but they can launch some balls.
Swing and a miss and a breaking ball. It's 1-2. I like your Eric Davis comparison. I think that's right on.
He's a little thicker than Eric the Red, but just has that strength.
In the dirt, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cameron Rupp doing the catching tonight for Aaron Harang. Back toward the middle, off the mound. Hernandez charges and then flips to first. An easy first inning for Aaron Harang. So 1-2-3 go the Orioles. 1 inning in the books. To the 2nd we go. And Harang pretty comfortable so far to start the game. St. Louis Cardinals are in town. It's a Cardinals weekend, 7:05 on Friday. Don't forget, Saturday's game is a 7:05 start. Originally, that was a 3:05 start, but they changed it a couple months ago. And then Sunday, Chevrolet Father's Appreciation Day. That cap being given out to men 15 and older. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com as Ryan Howard grounds out to begin the second. So one quick out here in the second inning. And that'll bring Jeff Francoeur to the plate. Francoeur's numbers against the Orioles: 5 home runs, 14 runs batted in. Obviously interleague play, but also his time with the Kansas City Royals. And he takes a fastball for a strike. It's 0-1. Jeff was pretty frustrated after yesterday's ball game, the way the Phillies wound up losing 1-0. You know, he's a veteran presence in the clubhouse, and a lot of the veterans, you know, talked about how they have to play cleaner games. You mentioned it, can't slide over third or second or, you know, whatever bag or plate. That one's popped up behind home plate. Wieters off with the mask toward the screen, out of room.
Especially when you're not swinging the bats well. You have to play fundamentally sound baseball.
Great outing yesterday for Cole Hamels. 12 strikeouts in 7 innings. Scattered just 4 hits. His ERA is under 3 now with that outing yesterday. Or back under 3, I should say.
He was tremendous.
Swing and a miss. Francoeur is struck out. Second strikeout for Chen. 2 outs. Well, it's time to take a look at our T-Mobile game changer. And the Baltimore Orioles are a pretty good defensive team. They lead in a couple of different categories. Outfield assists, they have 20. But overall, their fielding percentage, .987, tied with the Tigers and the Rays. And you wonder why the Rays are sitting close to the top, just a few percentage points out in first place. Well, that's one of the reasons, because they're fielding well. Utley shows bunt, takes strike 1. It's 0-1.
A lot of that has to do with Buck Showalter. He stresses fundamentals. You know, he's kind of a throwback manager. He will not tolerate fundamentals not being played or executed.
Breaking ball, 0-2.
His players love playing for him. He's always thinking ahead. And in my opinion, never got the accolades he deserved for the work he did in Arizona and for the work he did with the Yankees. He built ball clubs that ended up winning world championships, and he never really got those accolades.
Utley checks his swing. They appeal. No swings. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, you've played with a lot of managers, some a little more bombastic than others. Lou Piniella was one. I would think he preached fundamentals. I mean, how do you get that through to a team?
Well, you sit a guy down, you take him out in the middle of a ball game. Bruce Bochy was a guy that preached fundamentals. If you don't get it done, you know, he'd call you in the office. Ben, this has to get done. You're a Major League Baseball player. This has to get done. You can't do it, we'll find someone that can.
Larry Bowa was that way. Bobby Cox was that way for a long time. Think about all the jostling he did with Andrew Jones out in center field. Andrew loafed after a ball. He was on the bench. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Chase Utley, the DH tonight.
Did you think there was something wrong with the lineup card tonight? When you looked, you said, oh, there's too many guys in the lineup.
There have been games where we play in American League City. I do think about that. Ball 4, and the first base runner of the night for the Phillies is a walk to Chase Utley. You know, a lot of the work we do, statistical work, is done prior to when we get here, and I'll put the pitchers in usually in the 9-hole, unless we're in Cincinnati or St. Louis or Chicago. I didn't bite this time.
Growing up right before our own eyes, Tom.
Cody Ashley's the batter. Ashley 3 for 18 on this road trip. And he pulls that one toward the hole. Cut off by Flaherty. Chen is there to cover. And 4-1 on the putout to finish up this second inning. Well, they were shaded that way. And after Davis couldn't get it, Flaherty did. Cody Ashley robbed of a hit as we go to the bottom of the second. Former Eagles, Ike Reese and Donovan McNabb on Breakfast on Broad tomorrow morning from 6 until 8 on the Comcast Network. Jim Salisbury from CSNPhilly.com also be a guest on Breakfast on Broad. He'll be on at 6:15 a.m. I hope somebody reminds Jim that he's going to be on at 6:15 a.m. Chris Davis will lead it off. Davis hitting .229, 13 home runs, 37 runs batted in. And he shows bunt and jabs at it, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Davis bunts again toward third. It is a fair ball. It hits the chalk. And he's aboard with a leadoff single.
With 1 strike, they moved even closer into that shift and said, you know what? I don't care if I go 0-2. I'm going to try it again. And this might be the ugliest bunt you could ever envision, but it's fair and it's a hit.
I think Gary Cederstrom just tippy-toeing past the baseball. Well, there are a lot of folks that think that a cleanup hitter should just be a cleanup hitter and take some swings. There probably will be a point in this game where he'll do just that, but he gets a base hit and brings Matt Wieters to the plate.
I love it. I love that play.
Wieters takes inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Well, this is a big bat to get back in the lineup and behind the plate, Murph, and Matt Wieters.
No doubt about it, Tom. This is a guy who hasn't played a full season since 2013, a 3-time All-Star, a switch hitter behind the plate, and now they're going to have to juggle. He's coming back from Tommy John surgery as a catcher, so they're talking about, well, he probably will not catch every day, but take a look at the numbers just since he's been back. He put that bat back into the lineup in 7 games, 333, 1 home run, 4 RBIs, and 3 doubles as well. He's a guy that gets the job done when he's in there. So, like I said, probably be a DH on occasion. He'll play behind the plate like he is tonight, and maybe even over at first base. They just want to be able to keep him in the lineup and keep him healthy. It's an injury that is tough to come back from, as we all know. It's odd for a catcher to have it, but it's happened before, and he still said he's working his way back. Doesn't feel as good as he did in 2013, but he's getting there, and that's important for the Orioles.
Well, and Ben, you've come back from Tommy John surgery as a catcher. I mean, you know what that's like. It's a little different than the pitcher, but it's still something you have to go through the same kind of process that a pitcher goes through.
You do, and the rehab is extensive, and at times it can be painful and never-ending. But you're throwing the ball a lot as a catcher, and and Matt being a switch hitter, I noticed it a lot when I was hitting right-handed. Getting the impact, and him being the switch hitter, I'm sure he felt that as well. But he is such a talent. Has a bazooka. I mean, he was at Georgia Tech as a closer, throwing 97 off the mound.
Freddie Galvis right at the second base bag of the double play. So he erases Davis. And with 2 outs, Nolan Reimold will be the batter.
But I do see Wieters possibly moving to another position for the simple fact that he is a big man. You know, I liken his body style to a Sandy Alomar Jr. You know, he's a big dude.
Well, here's Reimold hitting .294 with 2 homers and 5 runs batted in. He takes a fastball for a strike. Reimold spent 6 years with the Baltimore Orioles organization before he went on to Toronto in 2014. Pulls that one toward third. Michael Franco is up with it, and the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, and nobody left. We've completed 2. We'll move to the 3rd inning here at Camden Yards. Phillies.com. Go to the fans section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, Ben, here we go. Which 2 Orioles won the American League home run title the last 2 seasons? Which 2 Orioles won the American League home run title the last 2 seasons? Answer will be revealed a little later on. You do not have to give us the number. You just have to give us the person, or the people, I should say. Cameron Rupp leads it off. It'll be Rupp, Galvis, and then the top of the order.
Oh, I know.
You know,
you tried to get me. I see. That's a trick question down there in the production cavity.
Rupp takes a strike. It's 0-1. Cameron 4 for 9 on the road trip.
Rupper had a tough day in the clubhouse today. He called Jeff Francoeur and said his last start. He said that Chen threw all fastballs. And Francoeur came over and looked at it, and he's looking at it, and he goes, "You're an idiot. You're looking at the wrong column." And he goes, "Oh." They're looking at the report.
See, it's a good thing his teammate was there to help him. He would have gone up there thinking he doesn't throw any breaking pitches.
All heaters. You know, Justin DeFreitas was commenting how he played in the collegiate summer league down here, and Rupper said, "Well, I played up in the Cape Cod League in Katuitt. My brother actually played in Katuitt for a couple of seasons." And he looked at me and goes, "You made the Cape Cod League?" He goes, "You couldn't even make my high school team, and they sent you up to the Cape Cod League?" Poor Rupper's having a tough day. He handled it well, though.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Rupp. And a foul tip, and Wieters hangs on. 3rd strikeout for Chen. And 1 gone for Freddie Galvis.
High fastball. Man, that pitch looks good because it's eye level. You think you can catch up, you can't.
Freddie Galvis's average is at 257, a home run, 13 runs batted in. 3 hits and 17 at bats during this road trip. He's been getting some more time off as he's trying to figure out his swing. Cesar Hernandez has been playing a little shortstop. That one's punched to first. Chris Davis has got it. 2 outs here in the third.
You know, not to stereotype Asian-born pitchers, some of them can get very long in between pitches. But Chen does a good job. He really does a good job of getting the ball, towing the rubber, and throwing it.
Well, I think we saw that with Daisuke Matsuzaka in particular. He would take a long time in between pitches.
And that's just their custom. That's just the way they're accustomed to playing baseball. Well, you can see Chen, he gets it, and he's ready to rock and roll.
And Revere grounded out his first time up. Takes a breaking ball, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. Chen, who played for the Chinese Taipei Olympic team in 2004, 2008, also played in Japan from 2004 to 2011. Line drive, 1 hopper to Machado, and an easy inning for Chen. So he has not allowed a base hit through 3. He's allowed just 1 base runner. Middle of the second, Phillies nothing and the Orioles nothing. Is all we do. Call 1-800-JEFF now or visit jefferson.edu. Buy Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers and our most exciting lineup ever. Shop Nissan.com. And buy Budweiser. Still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you. Well, it's turned out to be a nice night. Hopefully the storms are past us. Phillies fans have made their way down to Baltimore for this game and this 2-game series. Travis Snyder leads it off and takes a strike. It's 0-1. Snyder this year hitting .252 with a home run and 14 runs batted in. He's playing right field tonight. Delman Young has played a lot of right field recently for the Orioles, and is one of the reasons why the Orioles lead the American League in outfield assists with 20. Delman Young has always had a good arm. That ball is lined out towards center. Revere makes the catch. On Saturday, June 27th, which is a 3:05 start, fans 14 and under will receive the W.B. Mason Collectible Phillies truck. It's all part of the Washington Nationals weekend at Citizens Bank Park. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. Here's J.J. Hardy. Hardy hitting .214, 2 home runs, 10 RBIs. Lifts that one to right field. Frank Core will make the catch for the second out. Tonight's game is also available in Spanish. Just use the SAP button on your television or change the language through the menu on your cable box.
See.
Bill and Angel are here broadcasting the game. So the only thing left in their booth are the bobbleheads that line the front window. They didn't bring those with them. Flaherty to left field. How easy is this inning for Aaron Harang? Makes the catch, and the side is retired in order. 3 up, 3 down. Harang has faced the minimum through 3. We'll go to the 4th inning. The Phillies and the Orioles still scoreless. Mason's wide selection of Green Mountain Coffee K-Cup pods to keep you running. Order by 11:30 a.m. and get free same-day delivery. Who but WB Mason. Top of the 4th inning, Cesar Hernandez will start things off. 5 ground ball outs so far for Chen. 3 strikeouts, and the liner out to first base. Hernandez bunts toward third. Machado charges, and it's going to be a base hit. That was a beautiful bunt by Cesar Hernandez.
A ting of beauty, Tom.
So we have 2 hits today. Both are bunt base hits.
That is perfect. I was looking at Machado, I'm thinking he's got to know that Hernandez squares a lot. He was playing a little bit behind the bag, but I think he's playing in on the dirt, on the cutout. I think he would have a play on that and charge it more aggressively.
Well, now Maikel Franco, he went down looking his first time up. Franco takes a fastball. It's 0-1. Inside corner, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. A little bit of a delayed call.
You know, we're so close to the action here, Tom. I've been watching the game live. I really haven't been watching the monitor at all. He did not agree with that one. This reminds me of the seats in Bright House Field in Clearwater.
This is also very similar. I don't know. Are you on the trip in San Francisco?
I am.
Yeah, it's also very similar to AT&T Park.
Okay.
AT&T Park, the vantage point is perfect to watch a game.
Coming from where we just came from,
which is pretty high.
Pretty high and far from the field.
1-2 to Franco. Outside, 2-2. Chen has 37 career wins, which is the second most by a Taiwanese pitcher in the big leagues. Chien-Ming Wang leads the way with 62. And if Chen can duplicate what he did last year, won 16 games, he should be right on Chien-Ming Wang's heels in the next couple of years. Fly ball down the right field line, and that'll slice out of play. Cue shot to first. Davis will go to second for one. Back over to first, and it's in time. Chen covering. 3-6-1 on the double play.
When you talk about fundamentals, that's a fundamental play that's very hard to do. The 3-6-1. Davis comes crashed off. Very strong arm for a first baseman there, and Chen over to cover the base. This is the hardest double play to cover because there's so many working parts. There's 2 throws involved. The pitcher has to get over. But they handle it successfully.
Well, and if you look at Davis's mechanics, his footwork, he handled that perfectly. The way he grabbed the ball and the way he spun to second base, the anticipation on where he was going to go, gave him the extra second or so to make the play at first base work.
Yep. You don't see very many first basemen throwing the ball that hard.
2 balls, no strikes to Ryan Howard. Howard grounded out his first time up. Quick look at the Toyota Major League scoreboard. The Braves lead the Red Sox 3-0. That game's in the bottom of the 4th inning. Nick Markakis, who still hasn't homered, does have 2 hits, an RBI, and a run scored in that game. Howard waves at the 3-1. Got him. 91 miles an hour. 4th strikeout for Chen. No runs, 1 hit, and nobody left. Middle of the 4th inning. Manny Machado at the top of the order when we come back.
The bottom of the 4th, and what is now a beautiful night here in Baltimore. And leading off for the Orioles this inning, guys, Manny Machado, a guy that just exploded onto the scene, was called up in 2012, exploded onto the scene in 2013, an all-star for the Baltimore Orioles. He is the player profile for our Never Stop Improving player of the game. And in April and May, 49 games, 270, 8 home runs, 22 RBIs for Machado. But then in June, they are good numbers if you stop and just look at those. But then in June, he has really turned it on. 13 games, batting .340 with the 3 home runs, also 8 RBIs, and a slugging percentage of .528, guys. He is red hot right now in the month of June. This is one of the best young players in baseball, no doubt about it.
It's this one foul down the right field line and out of play. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. And you think about it, with all the young players that have been brought up over the last several days, you know, the top prospect here, the top prospect there, and how young they are. Manny Machado was in that boat not too long ago when he made his major league debut at the age of 19 in 2012. And in that season, in 51 games, he got .262. He's only 22 years old.
And he's had some growing pains as well. You know, Murph, you may remember last year he got in a scuffle with the A's, throwing his bat at the third baseman. You know, much like Kenny Giles the other night, it's a learning experience. These guys are young, they're not used to the big league life, and they get caught up in it, and they learn from those mistakes, and that's what Manny Machado did.
He's also battled some injuries as well, but when he is healthy, you know, he is one of those players that you almost want to buy a ticket to watch play, because he can do just about everything out there on the baseball diamond.
I would think eventually they'll move him out of the leadoff spot if they can find somebody to take that spot. Markakis did it last year. Well, he walks to start the fourth. And here's Paredes, who flied to left field his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Aaron Harang has induced one double play ball so far. This is high, 1 ball, no strikes. With all the struggles the Phillies have had as a team, one of the glaring stats that really jumps out is that the starters have not won a game since May 23rd. I mean, the Phillies obviously have won games, but the starters haven't won a game since May 23rd. As a staff, they are combined 0-11 with an earned run average of 5.53 in the 19 games. And that guy right there had the last win. Jeez. 2 balls, no strikes to Paredes. This has become a very interesting strike zone. So the starters, a 4.68 earned run average, which is 13th best in the National League. Sean O'Sullivan gave up 4 runs in his last outing and pitched 6 solid innings the outing before. On a normal day, his last 2 outings could have given a victory to the starting pitcher. 3 balls, 1 strike to Paredes, and he fouls it back to the screen. It's 3-2. I mean, this is obviously not the staff of Halladay, Lee, Hamels, and Oswalt that the Phillies once had, but it also lends itself to the lack of offense. That if you give up 3 or 4 runs, there's a lot of times a starting pitcher will get a victory in games where you give up that many. Runner goes, pitch is swung on and missed. The throw to second base by Rupp goes right under the glove of Galvis into center field, and Machado will go to third. So a strikeout, stolen base, and E2.
Man, it's a shame because he had him dead to rights. Now Rupper just rushes this a little bit. Freddie was a little late getting there. I'm not saying he would have made the pick and the tag, but he was a little late getting there, and sometimes you have to do that to make sure, depending if it's a fastball away or in, you have to figure that out beforehand, but you have to make sure the ball is not hit to you. A little tardy getting there, but that's a shame because that was an easy double play.
Well, instead, the Orioles have a runner at third with 1 man down, and Adam Jones, the batter. He grounded out to Cesar Hernandez his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Infield in halfway up the middle. Ground ball towards shortstop. Galvis has it, looks the runner back to third, 2 outs. Well, that's a money pitch right there to get Adam Jones to top one to Freddie Galvis. Every day is fun when you spend it at a Phillies game with your group of 25 or more. Take advantage of special group opportunities, including discounts, theme nights, party areas, and much more. No matter what size group, there are always benefits and special options. For more information, check out Phillies.com/group tickets. Here's Chris Davis, who bunted his way on his last time. Outside. Fly ball. Shallow left center. Franco is out. He's under it, makes the catch, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits. One man left over third. There was one Phillies error. We'll go to the fifth inning. Still. Hurry to your local Del Val Honda dealer or visit DelValHondaDealers.com. By WB Mason, you can't go wrong when you buy right and buy the Quality Plus Ford stores. Go further. Jeff Francoeur leads things off here in the fifth inning. He takes a strike. It's 0-1. Francoeur struck out his first time up. One of 4 strikeouts for Chen. Ground ball towards shortstop. To his left is Hardy. Ben, that's 8 outs recorded, counting the double play in the fourth. 8 outs recorded on the ground. So I guess he's getting the movement he wants with this fastball.
He is, and the Phillies hitter's just trying to do a little too much right now. He is locating well, and located fastball is the best pitch in baseball. I don't care what anybody says or how hard you throw it. If you can locate your fastball, you're going to have success.
Breaking ball, it's in there, 0-1. Dudley shows bunt, takes low, 1 ball, 1 strike. He walked his first time up. The only hit tonight for the Phillies is a bunt single by Cesar Hernandez. The only hit for the Orioles is a bunt single by Chris Davis. Balls and 2 strikes to Chase. He has shown bunt on 3 of the 4 pitches that have been thrown by Chen in this at bat. That's because Machado, the third baseman, is way back toward his natural position, the shortstop position. And Utley pulls it toward first, a 1 hopper to Davis. 3 unassisted. 2 gone. Well, it's time now for the Jeep Stump the Fans trivia quiz answer. Okay, Ben, the question was, which 2 Orioles won the American League home run title the last 2 seasons?
So you tried to get me to fish for this one, thinking they're both still with the Orioles. They are not. 2 years ago, it was Chris Davis.
Correct.
And last year, it was Nelson Cruz, who is now with the Seattle Mariners.
Nelson Cruz is correct. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Ashe takes a strike. Yeah, there was a lot of debate by the Orioles. Well, should we re-sign Nelson Cruz? I mean, Nelson came here on a one-year deal. As it turns out, they've been okay without him. Would he have helped? Yeah, probably. I mean, that kind of power can help anybody. Here's the 1-1 to Ashe. Swing and a miss and a high fastball. Cruz this year has 18 home runs and 40 RBIs for the Seattle Mariners. Last year he had 40 home runs. Drove in 108.
He's tied with Mike Trout and Albert Pujols for home runs this year, so he could win another one in probably the worst hitting park in the American League.
And a call, strike 3. 5 strikeouts for Chen. He works a 1-2-3 top half of the 5th inning. Both these pitchers are on top of their game, just like yesterday in Pittsburgh. We're still scoreless. Citizens Bank's Champions in Action is a unique program that rewards small organizations that create big changes in the community. To learn about Champions in Action and how to get involved, visit citizensbank.com/community. At Citizens Bank, we want to help you bank better. So the next time you have a question about money, don't keep it to yourself. Ask a citizen. Camden Yards, scoreless game. Matt Wieters leads it off as we start the bottom of the 5th. He hit into a double play his last time up. Rupp held that there for a moment. I think a pretty good pitch, but instead it's ball 2. It's 2-1. Outside, 3-1. Aaron Harang has walked 1 batter so far. Fly ball left field. Cody Ashe circles it for a moment, makes the catch, and 1 away. Time to check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thanks a lot, Tom. Well, as you guys know, it has been a strange couple of days for the Phillies, and actually for the entire Phillies organization. It's the subject of our Coors Light Cold Hard Fact. From last Tuesday through Sunday, there were 11 extra inning games in the Phillies organization with 140 total innings played. The Phillies had 2 of the extra inning games. Reading and Lehigh Valley each had 3 last week. Clearwater 2, Lakewood 1. The team was overall, the organization, 4-7 in those games. But some long games and some wild weather as well made for what has been kind of a long week, kind of a long road trip, guys.
Yeah, we were talking about that Reading stretch that they had. 3 games, 45 innings. They had to have a position player pitch 3 of those innings, and he pitched pretty well. Little floater out towards center field. Ben Revere dances around, makes the catch, and there are 2 outs. Well, let's hope that changes somewhat for everybody in the Phillies organization in the coming days. Phillies scoreless streak, and that's part of the reason why they've had some issues, is 17.
It's got to end.
It's got to end. I think Buck Showalter just told Travis Snider that he needs to take a pitch here. Snider asked for time. I don't know that for a fact, but they were barking at him to do something.
Oh, look, my shoe's untied.
Oh, he did take one.
Yeah.
1 ball, 1 strike. The man can listen.
Should have Buck talk to my kids.
Your oldest won't take a pitch. One ball and 2 strikes. Fastball that's over the outer edge. Snider lined out to center field, his only time up.
Snider playing right field tonight. I wonder how much the Orioles miss Nick Markakis. I know he doesn't have a home run this year, but he was a good ball player for the Orioles for a lot of years.
I think they wanted to keep him. It's just that the market value for him, the Braves paid him a pretty good amount of money.
They did, but he's just, you know, he's a baseball guy. He gets it. Good hitter, very good outfielder, great arm, run the bases really well. You can understand them not wanting to pay that much money for a guy that's, you know, getting on up there in years.
Well, there's Dan Duquette. He was the general manager of the Baltimore Orioles, formerly of the Red Sox. Was out of baseball for a while, and is the GM here. Peter Angelos, the owner of the Orioles, loved Markakis. 3-2 pitch. That one is fouled over the Phillies on deck circle. Another look at the Toyota Major League scoreboard. The Rays lead the Nationals 3-0. Tampa's playing well. Doesn't matter what happens. They seem to have changes that pave the way for success. Even changed their manager going into this year. To left field. Ashley's going back toward the track and reaches up, and it's over and off his glove, and it hits the base of the wall. Snider will stop at second base. He floated a little bit too much. It's a brand new park. In fact, it's difficult for Cody to adjust to a lot of these new ballparks. If he had gotten back to the spot a little sooner, he might have been able to make that catch.
Yeah, he just really didn't know where the warning track was. The bottom line is, Tom, that ball needs to be caught.
Yeah.
It's a learning experience. Hopefully it will not hurt Aaron Harang and the Phillies be able to get out of this inning, but you know, you can work on it in batting practice. Once you get back to that warning track, see how many steps you have till you touch the fence.
Well, they've given him a double. Well, that's some clean living right there for Travis Snider.
It's definitely a fly ball. I know Cody Ashley would like to have back.
So just the second hit for the Orioles. Here's J.J. Hardy. He flied to right his first time up. Fastball in there, 0-1. J.J. Hardy has scuffled this year. A 214 average coming in. The dirt, Rupp blocks it, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. He was doing something kind of interesting today. You know, they had early batting practice for the Orioles hitters, and he was taking batting practice without the screen behind home plate. It was pushed all the way back to the fence. Now, he has struggled, as we said. I don't know if that was, you know, something to make him more comfortable or what, but everybody was watching him while he did it.
Yeah, I can honestly say I've never seen that before.
Two balls, 1 strike to him.
And the batting practice pitcher was what normal batting practice was being thrown, but they also had a catcher. They still had a catcher back there. It was like a game situation.
Right. There's Scott Coolbaugh, who was the hitting coach. He was monitoring it. Buck Showalter was as well down the third base line. 3-1 pitch. And he lines that one just past Freddie Galvis into center field. A run will score, and the Orioles take a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the fifth. Well, it won't go down as an unearned run, but the inning obviously should have been over. But the Orioles do capitalize. 11th RBI for J.J. Hardy.
Good teams capitalize on other teams' mistakes. Hardy does a good job getting that cutter, not trying to yank it, stays up the middle, just out of reach of Freddie Galvis, but there's no one in this ballpark that feels worse than Cody Asher right now.
Brian Flaherty flied out to left field his only time up, so he's the number 9 hitter. Batting here with 2 men down, bottom of the 5th inning. Fastball upstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Flaherty.
Another Vanderbilt product. They're everywhere now, Tom.
2014 national champions. They pulled out a last-minute at bat or last-minute win today in the bottom of the 9th inning. A 2-run home run to walk it off. And the culmination of that game last night that was stopped because of rain.
David Price, obviously the most notable Vanderbilt alumni. He even had Mickey Cabrera with a Vanderbilt Commodores shirt on today in the clubhouse.
He went to yesterday's game. He flew out for that game, and obviously it was stopped in the 6th inning. So he couldn't see the finish. They were trailing when he left. 2-2 pitch down and away, 3-2. Manny Machado's on deck. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here in the home 5th. Orioles have taken a 1-0 lead. Runner goes. Pitch is called. Strike 3. Right on the inside part of the plate at 91 miles an hour, and the side is retired. Second strikeout for Harang. The Orioles do strike first on the RBI single by J.J. Hardy, and we'll move on to the 6th. And make it a case for why he belongs. Michael has been hot at the corner with his glove since his return and has defended the left side of the infield with his strong arm. At the plate, he has got into the swing of things in a hurry, and his power has definitely been on display, depositing 4 home runs, 8 extra base hits, and 8 RBIs in the first week of June alone. Franco's contributions are indeed welcomed and are brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Top of the 6th inning, Cameron Rupp will lead it off. Phillies down 1-0. Rupp takes inside, 1 ball, no strikes. He hasn't fallen behind, Chen that is, hasn't fallen behind too many hitters. Cameron struck out his first time up. He struck out on a high pitch. And he lofts that one out toward right center field, and it'll be caught by Travis Snyder. One away here in the 6th. You know, the other day when we were in Cincinnati, we talked to Juan Samuel, who's the Phillies base running and outfield coach. We asked him about the maturation of Cody Ashley as an outfielder. When do you talk to him when you think he's made a mistake? He said right away. Well, this was in between innings. He said, I don't wait. He said, I don't think they want me to wait. He said, some guys, you know, he knows their personality. It might take till the next day that he says something. He said, but his objective has always been to mention it right away and talk to them right away.
Especially if you have a certain thought in your mind.
Correct.
Or something exactly you want to tell him. And if you hold off, you might forget that. But if you think it's something that can make him better, to improve him, it's only going to make the ball club better, then you need to do it right away.
And Cody Ashley is one of the strong-minded players that you will come across. You know, there's a lot of guys that you have to go soft when you talk to them about certain things if they make a mistake. He's not one of those guys. Chase Utley talks about that all the time about Cody Ashley, that he wants to learn, he wants to get better, he wants to get as much information as possible. Here's Ben Revere, who's 0 for 2, and he takes strike 1. Ten outs recorded on the ground so far for Chen. Chopper to third. Machado behind the bag. Strong throw just in time to get Ben Revere. 11 outs on the ground for Wei-In Chen. That took just 6 pitches to get through the top of the 6th inning. Middle of the 6th, the Orioles hanging on to a 1-0 lead. Double that lovin' at McDonald's with a double cheeseburger and small fry for just $2.50. McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by Chevrolet, visit your local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. A long conversation between Buck Showalter and Eric Cooper, the home plate umpire, in between innings. I have no idea what they were talking about. Showalter was kind of shielding his mouth as he was discussing some things, and Cooper kept saying, okay, yes, okay. Here's Manny Machado, who walked his last time up, flied out to right field his first time. And he takes outside. It's 1-0. Ground ball to shortstop to his left, Galvis. He's up with it. And there's one gone. That'll bring Paredes to the plate. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murphy.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Well, some moving and shaking going on in the organization. Of course, the Phillies announced yesterday that their first-round draft pick, Aaron Nola, from a year ago, is headed to AAA. See his numbers: 7-3 after 12 starts in AA, 1.88 ERA in 76 2/3 innings pitched. Also announced today, Mark Leiter is going to be moved up, promoted to Reading to take Aaron Nola's spot. He was 3-1, 197 in 68 2/3 innings down there at Single A. 15 walks and 60 strikeouts. He is a guy that has certainly raised some eyebrows amongst the folks in the organization. He's pitched very well down there in Single A.
Yeah, he was solid last year with Lakewood and Clearwater. He won 9 games and 27 starts. A kid who grew up in Toms River. Of course, the Lighters, Mark and Al, went to Central Regional High School in New Jersey. And Mark Jr. went to Toms River North High School, and then eventually to New Jersey Institute of Technology, where the Phillies took him in the 22nd round in 2013. Well, good for Aaron Nola, good for Mark Leiter. Two balls and 2 strikes to Jimmy Paredes. And he hits one back toward the middle and into center field. I don't know if that clipped the spike of Aaron Harang. If it did, it just barely grazed it. And that'll be the 4th hit of the evening for the Orioles.
It's a sinker. You try and pull that pitch, you will roll over to second base every time. See another pitcher trying to kick the ball.
Well, he missed it. It didn't graze anything.
It's a new fad, Tom.
The thing about it, though, is if they try to kick it, they have no control over where it's going to go.
I know.
Adam Jones grounded out to short, grounded out to second. His first 2 at-bats. Swing and a miss and a high fastball. Harang's fastball is topped out at 90 miles an hour here tonight. He's been very good. Unfortunately, though, the Phillies have not been able to provide him much offense. Ground ball toward the hole, picked up by Franco. There's one, and not in time. Excellent play by Franco and Hernandez, and they just missed getting Adam Jones.
Surprised it was that close, Tom. I was. Mike Kell didn't get rid of it cleanly. He kind of hesitated for a second. Cesar at second kind of hesitated for a second. You see their double clutch comes across the bag. All in all, a good play. Still got the lead runner. That's the most important thing, getting that lead runner.
And now 2 outs, and here comes Chris Davis, who has a bunt single, and he's also popped out to Michael Franco in shallow left center field. First pitch is at the knees, 0-1. Pretty good movement on that cutter from Aaron Harang.
Maybe that zone's starting to open up just a bit, Tom.
It's been up and down. You know, there was the first part of the ball game. I thought it was wider than it was in the middle. And let's say the 3rd, 4th, and 5th innings. We're kind of off center here, as Ben mentioned before. We have a great vantage point. We're low toward the playing field. 1-2 pitch. Inside, 2-2.
See, that's a good pitch because he knew how to climb the ladder. He didn't throw it up over Chris Davis's head or at head level, because that's not going to look appetizing to you as a hitter. Kept it down low enough where you could take a look at it.
Jones will be off and running on this pitch. There he goes, the 3-2. And outside, so much for that zone opening up. Ball 4 puts runners on first and second. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Budweiser is still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you. That is a mild-mannered guy, a 6'7" mild-mannered guy out on the mound. And there have been a couple of times where he's kind of just turned his head at the lack of call by the home plate umpire, Eric Cooper.
And camera up going out to, hey, good pitch. Whether he thinks it was a strike or not, it didn't go his way. You have to forget it. I know it's easier said than done. It's like a hitter trying to forget that last at bat before you step in the box for your next one. You have to forget it.
Well, Matt Wieters is up with runners on first and second in a 1-0 game. And Wieters hacks the first pitch foul. It's 0-1. High fastball, 1-2, 90 miles an hour on that one. Well, he's done a nice job with his fastball tonight and where he's put it, including right there. As you said, Ben, it's too tantalizing to let up, but it's pretty tough to get a hold of.
I like that he's changing the eye level with it up and down.
Out to right field. That's well hit, and that one is not coming back. A 3-run home run for Matt Wieters. Aaron Harang just drops his hands to his knees, and it's 4-0 in favor of the Orioles. Well, it is a hitter-friendly ballpark, but that would have been out any number of places. I mean, he absolutely killed it.
I think it was a little slider, supposed to be back foot slider. He climbed the ladder on the pitch before. He goes to a little slider. May have been a changeup that just hung. But either way, it was a good pitch and up in the right field seats.
Well, it was a fastball for a strike to Nolan Reimold. For Wieters, just his second home run. Well, you get him back to being what he was before the arm injury. That is a huge boost for this offense. Galvis behind the second base bag, and on the edge of the outfield grass makes the catch, and the side is retired. But a 3-run home run by Matt Wieters opens up the lead for the Orioles. They'll lead it 4-0 as we get set to begin the top of the seventh. Phillies haven't scored a run in the last 18 innings. I think everybody knows that. It's continued here tonight with a struggling offense. They had just one hit. Aaron Harang was cruising along, but then he allowed a 3-run home run to Matt Wieters in the bottom of the 6th inning. 4 runs in this ballpark, you would think, all right, Ben Davis, this isn't that big of a deal. But the way the Phillies offense has been going, we go to the top of the 7th inning, 4 runs seems to be a huge mountain to climb.
Yeah, it almost seems unsurmountable in the fact that they scored 3 runs in Pittsburgh in 3 games, and that was in 1 game.
Right.
So they got shut out 2 out of 3 games, and Chen's throwing the ball very, very well. So they definitely have their work cut out for him, but at the top of the lineup here, so we'll see what happens.
Cesar Hernandez, who reached on a bunt single in the 4th inning, is down to the count, no balls and 2 strikes. That is the 5th 0-2 count of the night for Wei-Yin Chen. The 29-year-old from Taiwan. Who hadn't won his who hadn't won a game here at Camden Yards until his last outing. In fact, he had gone from middle of September last year until his last outing without a victory here at Camden Yards.
Baby.
That one's lined out toward right center field. That's going to be in for a base hit. Adam Jones goes sliding to grab it, but Cesar Hernandez will pull him to second base with a leadoff double. You can fill out your 2015 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot now at Phillies.com. Voting is exclusively online and available on your computer, tablet, and smartphone. Vote up to 35 times at Phillies.com. People around the American League are hoping that somebody other than the Royals fans vote, because now there are 8 Royals who are in line to be the starters in the American League this year.
It's going to be an I-70 All-Star game.
8 Royals and Mike Trout. Seriously. A ball, no strikes to Franco, who's 0 for 2. And he fouls that 1-1. They're going to have the Royals players do what the Pirates players used to do in the late 70s and the A's players used to do in the early 70s. They'll have to wear more than just the one uniform. They just got to mix up the colors a little bit. Maybe throw the powder blue out there.
Yeah.
1 ball, 1 strike. Well, otherwise, it's going to look like the Royals against the National League.
Tell you what, there are a couple excellent swings by Maikel Franco. Strong. They were aggressive, but they were under control, but they were still quick. A lot of guys, when they swing hard or get too aggressive, their bat slows down. That was still very quick.
As we get deeper into this season, we saw in his first at bat that Chen threw the first pitch breaking ball. He's going to get more of that, don't you think?
Yes. We saw A.J. Burnett do that to him yesterday. First couple bats. A lot of breaking balls.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Franco. He threw him a changeup, and he just got a piece of it to stay alive.
I think you'll see a breaking ball in the dirt here, or he might climb the ladder with a fastball. One of those 2 scenarios.
All right, so then he throws the fastball up and in, which may set up something different here with the count 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I think he'll double up inside or now throw the breaking ball.
Hernandez at second base with a leadoff double here at the top of the 7th. And a call, strike 3, a delayed call from Eric Cooper. Maikel Franco not pleased at all. He was called out on strikes his first time up and wasn't pleased, and now he's been thrown out of the ball game, and he better be careful going back at Eric Cooper. There's been a lot of frustration with the strike zone tonight, really, for both teams. I think part of it is because he did say something his first time up too, and I'm sure he said a little bit more more aggressively in this at bat.
Well, I think what got him, A, I think it's slow,
Yeah.
and B, was a delayed call by Coop. It was a delayed reaction, and when he went back at him the second time, now Eric Cooper flinched his arm before that in the initial argument, and the argument ensued. He flinched his arm and did not throw him out. He went back at him again. That's when Coop gave him the boot.
So Franco's out of the game. One man down. Ryan Howard is the batter. Six strikeouts for Chen. Howard's 0 for 2. A ground out and a strikeout. Fights it off foul. 0-1. Now the 0-2 pitch. Got him with a high cutter. 7 strikeouts for Chen.
See, this is the part of the Phillies offense, and I think as men, you can't fault them for trying to do too much. You know, trying to hit that 2-run homer. Just keep it going. Just get 1 back. Get 2 back right now. Just get back into the ball game.
Francoeur rips it down the left field line, and it is a foul ball.
They get a leadoff double, and now here you are with 2 outs and hoping that Jeff can come through.
Yeah, yesterday's ball game, the Phillies got a 1-out double by Francoeur in the first. They moved him over to third, but he was left there. There were a couple other occasions where they had a runner at second base, but still couldn't move him over to third base throughout the series against the Pittsburgh Pirates. And that resulted in a 13-inning scoreless game and an 11-inning scoreless game for the Phils. 1 ball, 1 strike to Francoeur with 2 outs. And he fouls it back behind the plate.
That 11-inning scoreless game yesterday, Pirates ended up winning, but it's the time of game, 3:05. Could not believe it.
But both of those pitchers were on. I mean, it was a clinic for A.J. Burnett and Cole Hamels. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Francoeur. And he pops it up. Leaders gives it a look. It'll be back into the seats. Down in Miami, Toyota Major League scoreboard, Mark Teixeira has homered again, number 18. And the Yankees and the Marlins are tied up at 1.
Mark Teixeira, native of the Baltimore area.
They went to the same high school as Gavin Floyd.
Really?
And a call, strike 3. Francoeur down looking. 3 strikeouts in a row for Chen. He's 1 away from his season high. So the Phillies waste a leadoff double by Cesar Hernandez, and will stretch here at Camden Yards. with runners in scoring position. It's part of the reason why they trail at 4-0 as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Every time the Phillies pitchers retire the opposition 1-2-3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. A couple of different Phils out on the playing field as we speak, including Elvis Araujo, who will begin his 14th game. He's 1-1 with an ERA of 2.45. Andres Blanco takes over at third base for Maikel Franco, who was ejected from the game. So 6 innings for Aaron Harang. Up until the 6th, when he allowed that 3-run home run, he was cruising along. But he goes 6 innings, allows 5 hits and 4 runs. Here's Travis Snider to lead things off against Araujo. And it's in there for strike 0-1. Snider doubled his last time up, and he chops one to second base. Hernandez is up with it. 1 away. He doubled to left field on a ball misplayed by Cody Ashe. He wound up coming around to score. And here's J.J. Hardy. Hardy 1 for 2 with an RBI single. High fastball at 94. It's 0-2. See Hardy's numbers with the count. No balls and 2 strikes. 2 for 28. And they'll try to go up the ladder again. And it's now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Elvis Araujo, the only lefty in the Phillies bullpen. He's done a decent job for them. He throws a slider and gets Hardy for the 2nd out.
Good luck with that one.
Seriously. Wednesday, July 1st and Thursday, July 2nd, when the Phillies take on the Milwaukee Brewers. You want to hang out to the end of the ball game because that's when the Xfinity fireworks shows will take place. All part of that Brewers series. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. The fireworks show at Citizens Bank Park, always a blast. Music that accompanies it. It's always a great time. It's been that way even when the fireworks are shot off at the vet. Ryan Flaherty takes a strike. It's 0-1. By the way, speaking of Phillies left-handers, Jake Diekman has done very well down with Lehigh Valley. He's pitched in just 5 games, 5 innings, 5 strikeouts, and a couple of saves. I think the biggest thing is that his command seems to be right on. Trying to work out some mechanical issues, so that's good to see for Jake.
Well, as long as he stays healthy, I really think that he has a long, bright future.
0-2 pitch and a foul tip, and Rupp is able to hold on to it. Back-to-back strikeouts for Araujo. Nothing across for the Orioles, and their half of the 7th will go to the 8th. Phil's again looking for a little offense. Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. And by Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. Changes for the Orioles as we go to the top of the 8th inning. You saw Reimold. He moves from left field to right field. And Lowe, David Lowe, is now in left field for Baltimore. Chase Utley will lead things off. First pitch to him is a strike. It's 0-1. 88 pitches for Chen, with one pitch here in the top of the 8th. Curveball pulled foul into the seats. It's 0-2. Twenty pitches in the 7th inning is the only blip on the radar for Chen. Other than that, man, oof, he has been on a roll tonight. He's ahead 1-2 to Chase Utley with nobody out here in the top of the 8th. That was awfully close. It's 2-2. I think it's a coin flip in some cases with Eric Cooper behind the plate. And a base hit down the right field line for Utley. That one's going to go to the wall. Reimold will play it quickly. Utley's on his way to second. The throw to second base is not in time, and then he falls off the bag. J.J. Hardy stayed with it. Second time in 2 games that the Phillies have had a base runner slide off the bag. Well, Reimold to move from left field to right field, showing a strong arm. That's his first downfield assist.
Now, Buck always thinking ahead, making this defensive play. Obviously, Chase in there. Kind of coincidental, though, that just yesterday we had that same play where Chase pushed or not pushed Marte off the bag. And now he is the recipient of that as well.
Cody Ashley's now the hitter. He's 0 for 2. That one's off the hands out towards shallow center, and Jones coming on. He can't get it. It kicks out of his glove, and Ashley will hold up at first base. That'll be a base hit. So with 1 out, a runner at first. Adam Jones does not run the way he used to be able to run. So Ashley's aboard, and here's Cameron Rupp, who's 0 for 2, a strikeout and a fly out to right.
And you're thinking to yourself, well, that would have been a run. Not necessarily. Chase would have had to hold up on that. Could have probably would have just gotten third on that play when you had first and third with nobody out, but.
Well, Dave Wallace, the pitching coach, the veteran pitching coach, going out to talk to Chen. Brad Brock is warming up in the bullpen. Let's go to Murph with the Major League Notebook. Murph.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Presented by St. Joseph's University, and a bit of a surprising move today. The Padres have fired their manager, Bud Black. San Diego 32-33, 1 game under 500, but as you know, expectations were sky high after a wild offseason, brought in some big-name free agents. Their general manager, A.J. Preller, said today they expect to name a new manager within the next 24 to 48 hours. They just want to shake things up in San Diego, maybe kickstart that franchise. And a date has been set for Jose Fernandez of the Miami Marlins to to be back after his rehab starts. Already has had 2 minor league rehab starts as he's coming back from Tommy John surgery. He expects to have 3 more at the AAA level, and he will return on July the 2nd. The Marlins versus the Giants. Of course, he is the 2013 Rookie of the Year. Was injured early in the 2014 season, had to have the surgery, and is battling his way back now. But they expect July 2nd, as long as everything goes okay with his rehab assignments, that he will be back and on the mound for the Marlins.
Well, and I think a lot of times we talk about velocity, which is obvious for a pitcher, particularly a kid of his talent. And so far his velocity has been good. His command, as that one gets away from Wieters, has been good also. And Ashley moves up to second base. And as far as Bud Black is concerned, 649 wins in 8.5 years as the manager of the Padres. Never finished above second place.
Well, I would assume that the San Diego brass thinks, hey, we made these off-season acquisitions, getting Justin Upton, a few other key players, and where they sit now in the National League West division, you know, it's just a hard division. It's a tough division, especially when you're going against those Los Angeles Dodgers and the payroll that they have and the big names that they have on their 25-man roster.
Well, Pat Murphy, who's their AAA manager, former head coach at Arizona State, has been called in for an interview, so he's left his post as the AAA manager. So you wonder if it leads to him getting the opportunity. Ron Washington's name has also been bounced around. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Cameron Rupp. With a runner at second base and 1 man down. Up high, and it's 2-2. So 100 pitches for Chen. Balls, 2 strikes to Rupp. And a foul ball, and it remains 3-2.
It's a good take on the changeup, down and away by Cameron. And a very good swing at that 3-2 heater. I'm sure he wishes he had that one back.
Depending on what he does with Rupp here, this may be his last batter with Brock warming up in the bullpen. A hair over 100 pitches. He's at 102. And a call, strike 3. Rupp thought that was ball 4, flipped the bat away. We've seen that call to strike for both right-handers and left-handers tonight. And they're 2 away. I just think it's too close to take.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, you know you're going to get rung up unless it's drastically off the plate.
Well, the 9 strikeouts ties his season high. His career high is 12 in a game. Freddie Galvis, the batter, he's 0 for 2. He's lined out and he's grounded out. And he takes strike 1. It's 0-1. That one is spun out toward the right side. Flaherty gets to it, throws on the run across his body in time. And the side is retired. 20 consecutive innings without a run for the Phillies offense. We've played 7.5 on to the bottom of the 8th. Orioles up 4-0. play of the game. Now, this was a sharp one back in the 4th inning.
It was just a squibber off Maikel Franco's bat. Chris Davis comes off, throws a strike, and I mean a strike to J.J. Hardy at shortstop. J.J. with the return to Wei Chen at first base, and that is your Hyundai defensive player of the game.
Now, he looks like he is done. There's a lot of conversations going on with him in the dugout. Spectacular tonight. 8 innings. He struck out 9. Dave Wallace discussing things with the interpreter. Wei Chen, though, was having a conversation with Ubaldo Jimenez. So 9 strikeouts, 4 hits, no runs, 8 innings, 1 walk, 106 pitches. And it looks like they are going to bring somebody else in to finish off this game. First, though, we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and Manny Machado will lead things off against Genmar Gomez. First pitch is in there, 0-1.
You know, Tom, I could not agree more with you about his delivery. He repeated it every time. No wasted motion. It was up and down, right to the plate, every time, and it was fluid. Well, and not a whole lot of effort.
Yeah, from the players who are from the Far East, you know, we see almost the same kind of motion. His wasn't exactly the same as other left-handers, let's say from Japan or from Korea that we see. You know, there were some pieces of it, but he was mechanically sound.
Yeah, most of them have a little pause when they lift their leg up, or I mean, he has that to a degree.
That one's dragged to shortstop, gobbled up by Freddie Galvis. Low throw, dug out by Howard, 1 away. Wayne Kirby was pointing to the first base bag. He thinks that Howard may have come off the bag. But I do not think they're going to ask for a challenge on that one or ask for a review on that one.
Hey, Elvis did a great job. 2 strikeouts, 1, 2, 3.
Swing and a miss by Paredes, switch hitter. Paredes is 1 for 3. Fly to left. He struck out and he singled his last time up. Pretty good changeup right there by Genmar Gomez.
That's something we've seen that pitch come a long way this year. I mean, spring training, sinker, slider, even to start at the beginning of the season. A lot of sinkers. That changeup has looked good recently.
And a call, strike 3. 91 with that sinker. 3 strikeouts for the Phils bullpen tonight, 2 away. The Together We Fight t-shirt designed by Cody and his wife Angie is available at the Majestic Clubhouse store and on Phillies.com. There is the t-shirt right there. Very light material. Net proceeds for the sale of that t-shirt, which is $24.99, benefit the ALS Association Greater Philadelphia chapter. Again, you can go to the Majestic Clubhouse store anytime to pick them up, or go to Phillies.com and purchase them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Adam Jones is 0 for 3. He did score a run when he reached on a fielder's choice in his last at bat.
Start to see Genmar Gomez's workload start to increase as he's having a lot of success recently. You might start to see him in some roles that we've seen, Luis Garcia have. Closer ball games. The way he's throwing the baseball, I tell you, there's no reason for the coaching staff not to put him in higher risk situations.
Two 0s down low, 3 balls, no strikes. 3 balls, 1 strike. And that one's slowly up the third base line. Blanco will field it in foul territory. Blanco playing third base for Franco, who was ejected from the ball game earlier for arguing balls and strikes. Balls, 2 strikes. John Russell, the bench coach for Buck Showalter, former Phil minor league manager. It's 3-2 to Adam Jones. Fouls that one off his foot, and it remains 3 balls, 2 strikes. Up at Citi Field, the Blue Jays and the Mets are tied at 2. Jose Bautista hit a long home run early in that game that gave the Blue Jays initially a lead. But that game in the top of the 9th now. Toronto has won 11 straight. They're a game back of the Yankees and the Rays right now in the National League East. In fact, there's only one team, the Red Sox, not at 500 or better in the American League East. Ball 4. And Adam Jones is aboard, and Chris Davis is coming up.
That Blue Jays team, we saw it in spring training. I mean, it's murderer's row. They all have the same approach. They all take the same swing. And when they're clicking as a unit offensively, now we saw that. It's like, I equate their team to like a 3-point shooting team. You know, if you go into a ball game and you're not making that 3-pointer, you're going to be cold. You might lose that ball game. They're not hitting the home runs, not hitting the long ball. They might not have success. And they went to a slump earlier this season as a team, and they did not score a lot of runs, and subsequently did not score a lot of runs and win ball games.
Fly ball to center field. Ben Revere was stationed perfectly for Chris Davis, and he makes the catch, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, 1 man left. The Phillies have been shut out for 8. Let's see what they can do when we get back to the 9th. Delivery of the game. This was a very innocent 1-0 game when Matt Wieters came to the plate.
It was, and I think it's a slider that just didn't slide. Climbed the ladder on the pitch before and just throws this ball middle in and up. Matt Wieters knows what to do with that to make this ball game a 4-0 ball game. And that is your W.B. Mason delivery of the game.
And the way that Wei-Yin Chen was pitching tonight, Matt Wieters' 3-run home run was like a huge cavern for the Phillies offense to try to get out of. Well, here's Ben Revere to lead it off against Zach Britton. Zach Britton is the closer for the Orioles. This is not a save situation. You see his numbers. A 1.75 ERA, 33 strikeouts, and 25 2/3. A couple of notes on Chen. First pitch strikes to 23 of the 27 batters that he faced. I mean, that's outstanding. That's 85%. He was 0-2 or 1-2 against 15 batters in tonight's game. And the Phillies' struggles with runners in scoring position continue. They were 0 for 5 tonight, so they're 1 for 30 in the last 4 games. Chatting it up with Ubaldo Jimenez.
Guess he doesn't need an interpreter to talk to Ubaldo.
So. No.
Only the coaching staff.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Ben has grounded out 3 times tonight, twice to the third baseman Manny Machado. Talking pitching, Ben, universal language.
Okay.
Swing and a miss, one away. The ball had some rapid movement on it. Coming up, former Phil Ricky Metallico gives his full analysis and breaks down tonight's Phillies-Orioles interleague matchup. Only on Pure Auto Insurance presents Phillies Post-Game Live. Cesar Hernandez has 2 hits tonight. A bunt single, a double to right center field. Outside, 1-0.
He's got some sink.
Well, you saw his numbers, and he has been fantastic this year out of the pen. You saw the bullpen numbers overall, 2.92 ERA. At 95, that one's low. It's 2-1.
I take my worst bat in my bat bag up there right now. It's the confidence I'd have. You're not breaking my good one. You're not breaking my 9-grainer.
And it's even 2-2. Reminder, we'll be back on the air tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Phillies pregame live. We'll get you all started at 6:30. Jerome Williams against Ben's buddy, Chris Tillman. 2-2 to Hernandez. 3-2. You guys are still speaking, right?
We are. We'll talk to him today. Talk to him and Adam Jones.
There's Jerome. I talked to Jerome.
As did I.
That one smoked it to the crowd over the first base dugout.
Now, can we talk about Cesar Hernandez again, putting together a good quality at bat? His last time up, he had a double in the gap, and I believe he was in the hole 0-2. He's the 5th batter that Chen went 0-2 on, and worked himself into a double opposite field gap. Here it's full count again. Fouled a pitch off already.
And fouls another one off.
I mean, he is really working the pitchers, and you would think it would be different. Okay, if you're a guy that's trying to vie for playing time, you're trying to make a name for yourself so the manager thinks enough of you to put you in the lineup on a more consistent basis. You would think you'd be over anxious trying to do so much. He's letting the game come to him, working pitchers and working into good counts.
And he wraps it up with a strikeout.
That's just nasty. But
Sure
I'm
is.
saying he's still putting together a decent at bat. He's not just going up there flailing away, making it out on 2 pitches. A lot to be said for that.
Oh,
It's like a 94-mile-an-hour splitter.
yeah. $23,000 and change on their feet. Andres Blanco will be the batter up for the first time. And he takes 0-1. From 95 to 83 with a breaking ball. So the guy on the left's going to have some bragging rights. Phillies have been held scoreless for 20 consecutive innings. 2 outs away, or 1 out away from making it 21. And now the 0-2 pitch coming to Blanco. Outside and wide, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes. Blanco is ready. And he hits that foul behind home plate to stay alive, and it remains 2-2. I guess the same concept as a lot of other ballparks. 4-run lead in this ballpark is not in the save category, but a lot of managers think, all right, this is kind of a save situation. So that's why Britton is in. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Blanco. And a little tapper back to the mound. Britton's got it. And the Phillies continue to go winless on this road trip. They lose tonight by a final score of 4-0. And their scoreless streak is up to 21 consecutive innings. A 1-2-3, top of the 9th inning. Wei-In Chen will pick up his 3rd victory of the season. And back-to-back wins here at Camden Yards. And with his effort tonight, he is our Chevrolet player of the game. He matched his season high with strikeouts. He worked ahead of the hitters.